Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. So we are back again on this platform. So let me do a little household work and then we'll get started. We've got a really good one today. We're going to go over my own personal TSLY holdings and determine whether or not it is at break even. So as most of you know, I bought my first Yield Max fund in April 2023, which was actually just over 2 years ago. So we're going to go over all of that. I have a very detailed spreadsheet. I've pulled all my dividends. I've pulled basically stuff back from Schwab when I was still with Schwab because the or I'm sorry, Ameritrade basically stuff back from Schwab. So I as most of you all know, I loved Ameritrade, but when they switched to Schwab, November of 2023, um, a lot of stuff was kind of lost in the shuffle for some time, but they've corrected, they've re-added all of those records now, so I'm able to finally do this analysis that I've wanted to do for some time. It's probably been there for like a year. I'm actually just more or less getting around to it now. Okay, so there's a lot to unpack here, folks. Okay, so I have the comments up over here for those of you all that want to comment. There's a lot to unpack here. So first things first, let's see. Okay, we've got a whole, never mind, we won't say that. Anyway, let's keep going. I'll join the Discord live just in case anybody wants to join me. I let everybody know that I'm live now. Uh, so these are the type of videos I'm going to get back to doing. I think these are going to do really well. I'm going back to the basics. This is what got me growing on here, and this is what I think is gonna help me to get things kick started again. Okay, so I have bought into TSLY. This may shock some of you all. A total of 10 times actually. Believe it or not, I bought some in November because after the election, I thought that I saw Tesla stock starting to run up. So after the election, I thought the whole market was just going to keep rolling, kind of like it did in 2016 and 2017. We did get it for the first few months, but since then it's been, I'm hoping we bottomed out and that we may be starting to recover. We had a great week last week, but anyway, nonetheless, um, 2 years ago, April 2023, I bought into Tesla. At the time, it was 14.92. I bought 885 shares. I bought another 500 shares. Um, so I broke my own rule. I kept buying as it was going up because I got sucked into the dividend. So I bought um, in May, June, and July. I kept buying basically into August, and then I slowed down when it started dropping. And then when it started dropping, I'm like, let me go buy more. So I bought in 2023 all of my shares of Tesla. These shares here that are like 11 something, I bought in November of that year. So all in all, before the first reverse split, which is actually the only reverse split, I had 4,881 shares. These shares here I got after the reverse split. So what I did, this is kind of silly. Um, November of 2024, so a year later, basically, I bought 660 more shares because what happened in the split, as most of you know, it was a 2-for-1 reverse split. So I went down to, from 4,881, I went down to 2,440 down here and sell A20. So what I wanted to do, I wanted to have 3,000 shares. So I bought 660, but I just made a stupid like math error. And I bought 660 instead of 560. So I was like, oh shoot, let me sell 100. So I sold 100 back and then got caught up in the wash rule. So there was nothing I could even have any tax implications or whatnot. Oh, here's Professor Hoffman here. He says, what are the stats had you just dripped from your first purchase? That'll be a topic for another video. As you know, sir, I have to, milk this for as much as I can here, so we can't cover all this in one video, so you'll have to stay tuned. It's a series. Hey, it's showbiz after all, right? Don't our favorite shows do that too? Um, so I never actually, I take that back. I did drip into Tesla. See some of these uneven shares. Those of you all that know me best, you know my OCD. You know I never, well, I should say rarely do I buy uneven shares. So the ones that you see uneven shares, I probably dripped, but I did it on my own. I didn't let them do it for me. I have never, since I've had this Ameritrade slash Schwab account, I've never dripped. I did it with E-Trade, but, and this is another side rant, E-Trade, um, declined over the years. They used to be great, but their customer service has declined so much. That's why I don't recommend them as a broker. Um, the drip, it took me like 2 or 3 months to de-enroll because I kept doing it, and I had to call and they said, oh, it was hard coded in, so they had to basically do it for me, and it took like 2 tries. So anyway, long story short, I don't drip. I only do it on my own. So what I did with these, I just bought as many shares as I could afford at the time. So the batches I bought in, or the tranches, if you will, or the tax lots, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yay, I did it without counting on my fingers. So there was 9 of them. I wouldn't be surprised if some of the YouTubers on here count on their fingers. But anyway, I did it in my head. So these tranches added up to about, and this is why the reason I'm spending so much time on all these minute details, because this is very important. And I want you all to learn a key lesson. A lot of you are going to go to your broker and you're going to see your cost basis right now versus what it's worth, and you're going to think, I'm only down by this much, but you're actually down by more than you think, okay? Because if you add up everything you've bought, you've got to take into effect reverse split happened. And in my opinion, I'm going to be really harsh, reverse split is in a sense like legal theft, basically, because you lose value that you never see again. It's just gone, basically, because they do it 2 for 1. So, like this one little share I had here, they're not going to give me a half share. They only do whole shares. So the half share is gone. They sell it off, and that's at a loss, as you see. I was buying in here. It came back and then it dropped. It dropped so low, it dropped down to $10, so they had to do a reverse split. Now it's down to like 776 or so. Um, so here's the deal, okay? Schwab is telling me my cost basis, and this is so important here. If you all don't take away anything else from this video, remember this. Schwab is telling me my cost basis is $48,890. And I know most of you don't think critically, and that's not a commentary on any one of you individually. Well, besides Hoffman, Hoffman's like the genius on here. But other than Hoffman, most of you don't take the time to really think critically. Why? Because we're caught up in our daily lives. We're caught up in, oh, what am I doing right now? What am I doing in an hour? I know because I do the same thing. I've gotten away from my own game a little bit. But the important thing here, I know so many of you will sit here and say, oh, I'm only down. See this? Right now, this 24,600. So sell A 16 times B 16. Actually, it recovered. I'm sorry. It was 776. It recovered to 820. So I have 3,000 shares right now times 820. It's worth 24,600. So most of you, I know how you are. You're going to sit here and say, "Oh, I'm only down. What is it? 24,000." No, it's actually more than that. So the 79,000, adding all this up here, and shockingly, I put another 10,000, and I've lost probably 50% of that. Hey, welcome, Keith Allen. Charles Ollinger, some brokers round up on the half share, not down. Well, I guess it depends on your broker. What brokers do that? But anyway, all right, the key takeaway. So this 79,000 is my actual cost basis. So see my note over here and sell H. The cost basis currently is understated by 27,373. It's like a new car, basically. It's understated significantly. Let me impress some of you math nerds here. So that is understated, folks, by 35%. That's over a third. Okay, now, what I want to focus on here. I took every dividend that I've gotten, and there's a lot of them because it's paid out quite a bit. So I added them all up. I've made $51,663.13 in dividends. Okay, so what was I thinking at first? I was thinking, watch this, oh, 25 dividends. So I was thinking, oh, I was actually thinking like what I just said. I was like, oh, I'm actually ahead. And I almost did a video saying I was ahead, right? Because cost basis 48,000, I was saying my dividends are higher than my current cost basis, which is true on paper right now, but unfortunately the on paper is not accurate. It's really this. So what do you do to calculate this? You have to add back what it's currently worth. So if this were true here, if this were really 49,000 cost basis, um, and this is my cost basis per share. So technically in November, I wasn't a total dummy. I bought below my cost basis, 1528, but it's like half that now. So what do you do to calculate this? You add back the dividends, which I did here. I added down, which was 51,000 and change, to the current market value of the securities, which is 24,600. So that is 76,263. So I'm close, very close to break even. I'm down $3,208.34. Now, what would happen here? What would it take for me to break even? What if we get to $9? $9 we're close. How about 9.25? 9.25 we're even closer. What about 9.30? Ooh, well, see, it's red, but now we're break even. So I would have to change this to green. All this manual stuff. What about $10? Now we're up. Now we're in the black. But here's the thing. Here is unfortunately the sad commentary on these funds. Okay, you can sit here and be all excited because there's two schools of thought with these funds. One of them is the cash flow school of thought, looking at it like a house or a real estate property, saying, "Oh, once it's break even, it's all icing on the cake." But Hoffman's getting to my point here. He's ahead of me as usual. Um, which I would expect, when you're much older than me, by the way. Just kidding a little bit, or am I? Um, so he says 2 years for break even. So here is everything in a nutshell. In a record bull market, which we experienced over the last 2 years, until Hoffman's favorite guy came into office, um, we saw a record bull market for the last 2 years. So at this point, oh, happy birthday. We'll have to send you some virtual yield max dividends for your birthday or something. Or meet up sometime if you're ever in Florida. That would be cool. Um, anyway, um, so in a record bull market, um, it really is saying something that we are just not even quite breaking even. And the Oracle, the professor, well, I won't call you the Oracle because that's someone else's name that I don't think you want to be compared to. Um, but things seem cordial between the two. Well, cordial. He's backed off. He figured out other YouTubers were the real clowns. So you're in Croatia. Oh, traveling the world. Well, so for those of you that don't know, this guy makes a fortune on options and futures trading. I call myself the coach, but he makes me look like a chump. This guy probably, I mean, he kills it, and his other buddies, that, well, I won't say too much, but I mean, people that follow me, let's just say the students have become better than the teacher, which that, by the way, folks, is a great sign of a teacher, right? When the student outpaces the teacher, that means the teacher's done a phenomenal job. So I have to give myself an A plus, or in the tone of Hoffman's favorite guy, when they say, "How have you been doing?" I'd have to give myself a good solid A plus. I have to do it. So with that being said, um, so we were playing with this here. So this would be, we would almost be break even, but we don't want to lose sight of the price we're actually at, 820. Okay, so we're still in a record bull market. We're still down $3,000. If we were to get back to where we were in November, though, I gotta say, and I think Hoffman would agree with me, and I know other people on here would would crucify me for saying this or tar and feather me, which is fine. The joke's on them. But if it got back to where it was in November, at this point, I might just sell because you see, at this point, I'm way in the black. So if it got back, well, for sure, if it got back to 1630, you know what though? There's something I'm missing. This is why I like doing these sessions with you all fine folks, because I even learn things too. You learn best by doing. Oh, he says not so well lately. Here's the funny thing. Okay, so I made February, I had the best month I've ever had. I mean, and I'll just say it, like I made like 40,000 on options in February, which I've never done before. Um, but last month was in the red, and then April, I made like $1,000 basically. So I made some more conservative trades. Now I'm on a comeback. I made a trade, by the way, Hoffman, that you'll probably roll your eyes at. It's along the lines of some of my other NVDL trades, but this time I just went way out. I went out to January. So I'm making a gamble, and it's a real gamble. I'm making a gamble that your boy is going to turn the market around. And well, not so much him because presidents don't control markets, right? But I'm making a gamble that so there I have a feeling after the pressure he's put on Powell, I think Powell is going to cut. I think the next rate decision is going to be a cut. I think by the summer, the market's going to start recovering significantly. And I think by January that Nvidia can at least be back to where it was, if not even higher. I think we could be hitting new highs by the end of the year. I'm somewhat bullish. Um, and I think too, they want to renew the tax cuts and all that, which are usually good for business. So once all that's done, I think the market could actually be following the trajectory that it followed during COVID, which, if you all remember, first 2 months of the year were great until the shutdowns. March, abysmal. April, also abysmal. By May, so things settled by like the end of April and first week of May that year. Exactly, he's saying V-shaped recovery. So I think by May, and June and July, we're going to see a summer of recovery and we're going to see new highs by the end of the year, as we saw in 2020. He says Trump blinked on tariffs. If they don't hold, the market rockets. Well, what I've heard, so, let's just kind of get into. I know I have a lot of side discussions going here because I have major ADD and I didn't take my Adderall as usual. Um, so, um, what was I saying? So the tariffs. I've heard that other countries actually have tariffs on us, and all we're trying to do is match their tariffs to remove the tariffs. So then if and a lot of us know economics on here. If one side has tariffs, the other side doesn't, it's an unfair playing field, right? The other side has the advantage. And I can't think why our leaders would be stupid enough to not at least match. So if we match the tariffs and then they say cancel each other out, then guess what, folks? We're back to free trade, truly free trade, right? Because if one side has it and the other side doesn't, it's not truly free trade, right? For all you free traders out there, you say tariffs impact free trade. Well, they can, maybe in a positive way, if we get the other countries to get rid of their tariffs, right? So then if they go away, we take in some revenue on the tariffs in the meantime. And if they go away, then we have truly free trade, which is really great. That's what we want, right? We want unencumbered free trade, unequivocal, unencumbered free trade. Those are my two big words of the day. Okay, so Hoffman says, I warned you about the Hoffman factor. The underlying now needs to move so ridiculously high. Well, I know that, but here's the thing. If I count my dividends, I might just sell this thing. So like right now, and what I was just getting to, if I take my actual, watch this, this is going to be way higher. This is going to make me cry probably. Um, shoot, shoot. I've got to think now. So I had 4,881 shares before the split. I bought 660 after the split. So this is going to be a complex calculation. But that's just what the doctor ordered because I'm a complex calculator myself. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to take these 560 shares, and these would have been worth double, right? So these would have been worth 1120 shares before, right? So we're going to have to take the 4,881 plus 1120. Am I doing this right? Because I have to figure out before pre-split. Actually, I'm gonna call faults on that, Hoffman, because in high school in ninth grade they teach you, just like in Ferris Bueller, um, they teach you tariffs bad, tariffs equal Great Depression. What do they always talk about? Holly Smooth tariff, Holly Smoot tariff. They say tariff equals bad. So as a society, we're conditioned to hate tariffs. We're conditioned to think, "Ooh, tariffs going to lead to Great Depression. Don't do it." Because we have this like, shall we say, monkey-like programmed mindset where we don't think critically, unfortunately. Yeah, smoot Holly. I had the words backwards, but that's because of my dyslexia. You know that. Um, if I get the words backwards, you just have to translate. It's like translating from English to another language, but really, in reality, it's from English to coach. So, okay, am I doing this right here? I think I'm actually better at math sometimes, which is shocking because I never was. I'm glad you're taking your info from Ben Stein. Hey, any influencer economists, that's where I get my info. I get my news from The Onion. I get my news from, I get my sources from influencers. What can I say? Sometimes they're more accurate than the mainstream media. Um, okay, I'm coming to the point here. 4,881. Some of you know what I'm doing. 4,881 was the shares we had before the split. Then I bought 560 more. Times that by two because it was a 2-for-1 split, right? So they went in half. So times that by two, it was 6,001. I don't know why there's a dollar sign here. It was 6,001. Ah, this stupid, stupid dollar sign. I have to go reformat it. Let's see here. I hate doing this live because I feel like I'm on the spot here. Okay, get rid of these zeros just because. Now, here's what we got to figure out, folks. And some of you know what I'm doing. This divided by this. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So is my break-even number lower than this? I'm actually shocked because this is telling me $16.30. Oh, wait a minute. Am I doing this right? Ooh, somebody retracted a message. Okay, let me read some comments here. This is how I get my daily reading, by the way, reading the comments on my channel. He says, if tariffs hold, you're screwed. Developing nations never going to get rid of their tariffs. Well, they need to develop faster then. I'm glad. Oh, okay. I didn't see what else we got here. Oh, I know what you retracted there, Mr. RB. You gave numbers. Don't be afraid to share your numbers. This is an open forum. This is a safe space for investors. Okay, he said if he dripped the original, he'd be down 12,000 to start plus 42,000 in reinvest. Sorry, your math's over my head, buddy. 42,000 in reinvest. Total invest 54,000. Current value 29,000. How is your current value $5,000 higher than what I'm calculating? Um, yeah, if I dripped, obviously, yeah, I'd be down. That's why I don't drip into these products. Um, 12,000 plus 42,000 in reinvest. Total investment 54,000. Oh, I think it would be only 5,000 higher because of the that's pretty bad. If it would only be 5,000 higher than what my current cost basis or my current market value is, that's pretty bad. Only 5,000 more after all of these, literally after 51,000 in dividends. Um, so VizFact says Tesla's trash, replace it with TSLP. I like the curve funds, but honestly, I think that, dare I say, so I do more options and stuff like that. I'm not buying as many high yield dividends because what I did, I'm not trying to get to 20,000 or 30,000 or some ridiculous number. I just wanted to get to the point, and it was like an experiment. It was like almost like a game. I just wanted to see, okay, if I could take like say 90,000 of my portfolio and turn that into a potentially full-time income, then that's great. And I did that. I made like 64,000 in dividends last year. So I'm not doing too much more, but I'm always going to share my dividend portfolio on here. So he says, now that you know how to do options, sell all your yield max and do it yourself. I know I'm like a step behind you guys, or a chapter behind, shall we say. Now, for the math nerds on here, tell me, am I right here? My number is 1324, but technically, would it then be uh, times two because that was before the split. So would it really be 2649? I actually think it would be 2649. That number makes more sense to me. Yeah, to tomato. So 2649 divided by 3,000. So actually my break-even share price, if I do it this way, should be, let's see, 2649 times 3,000. Yes, see, and I get a big fat error. Oh, I know why, because I'm in currency. Okay, so this one, so this is 79. So for some reason, the reverse split, it's like it robbed me of $30,000. So that's my real break-even dollar amount. On a post-split adjusted basis, it's 2649. So it would have to get back to 2649, which I don't see it doing. So then at this point, see, my OCD, right? If I sold for this, even though that's technically the break even based on what Schwab is saying, I'd still be down. I'd have to and I don't see it ever getting back to this $26. For that to happen, shoot, Tesla stock would have to get to like $1,000 a share. So total investment versus total return. Okay, so right now, Hoffman, these numbers, I should put them side by side, right? See how complicated this is, folks? I'm sure there's an easier way to do this, but your broker doesn't tell you everything, so you can't just go by what your broker says. All right, so here you go, Hoffman. So total investment, I'm going to put them side by side. Sell E27. All right, this is my total return right now. 79,000 is what I put in. I've made 51,663. So if I get like another year of dividends, then it would become cash flow positive, I guess. Someone's making big money selling them those long calls in the credit spread, about 3 to 5 million a week on a sucker's bet. Can we do that ourselves? Can we copy their trades? I know some people have talked about that. I think the inverse covered put funds yield max offers are a better strategy. Which ones? Give me some tickers, because I know there's inverse ones, but I haven't studied the inverse funds in all that much detail. Because I just figure, like, I thought we were in a bull market up until a few months ago. Um, so yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. I should probably just sell these. I can make the money back in options trading. Um, Dips is inverse Nvidia. So right now Dips is doing well, but see, things happen so fast, and I'm busy too. I have a full-time job and all that, and I have a life outside of YouTube. Um, so Hoffman, if I liquidated Tesla right now, I get 24,600. Um, so this is what I'm at right now, basically. I'm close to break even. If I add all the dividends together, which all this means, it's just like some of the other channels say, it means that they're giving you your money back, basically. They're giving your money back to you, and you're paying tax on a portion of it. Total investment versus total liquidation with Diva. Who's a diva? Not me. Oh, divs. That number's right here. So it's C13 versus C16. So C13 is the total investment. C16 is the 24,600 added to the dividends. So it's still negative $3,208. I know ROC is not taxable, genius, but there's still 10% or so of it that is taxable. So, like when I did my taxes, I was actually happy. I owed much less than I thought I would, but it's almost like they're giving you your money back and you're still paying tax on like 10% of it. Thankfully, not all, but the problem is that the conundrum here, folks, and I know I'm a dividend channel, but I have to be a realist. We're not actually making any money on this one at least. Now the other ones I showed you all, um, we are ahead. Like the ones I did, what was it, Thursday? We are ahead in these, and 2, 4, 6, and 6 out of 9 that I did. We are ahead, but unfortunately, when it comes to TSLY, and see, I've tried this before, but I didn't have my information from Ameritrade, so I did it again. Okay, so folks, take this to the bank, clip this, snip this, paste it all over. You're hearing it here. We're not actually making any money, at least as Tesla investors from the last 2 years. So he says, sorry, can't see watching on the phone. You have 76,000 tied up in Tesla. No, I have almost 80,000. Um, I thought you watched me on your big screen TV. Anyway, so you're only watching me on a phone. I feel a little slighted by that, I have to say. So 79,471 and change, that's the money I put in. Um, if you add what it's currently worth, so I'm actually thinking if I get a slight, see, the thing is, this is the bulk of my actual dividends that they pay. So see, every month I'm making between 2,000 and like 1,500. See here, a couple months I made 4,000. So this paid me last year. If we look at, let's see, this was 2023. This was when did I first get my dividend? We'll go back here. I think it paid 13 dividends last year. So it was, well, here we can just backtrack, right? This is April, March, February, January. It's weird counting backwards. Okay, so if we look at, let's see, 13 of them, I think. So this paid me $30,000. So if I was to sell this, and you're absolutely right, you're absolutely right. Oh, hey, that's a genius idea. Buy 2,000 NVDL, wheel it. Yes, I'll make a fortune. No, 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 but here's the thing, Hoffman. It's not worth 80K. It's worth 24,600. That's what it's currently worth. I put 80K in. I'm an Airbnb creation. My girl is watching Lost on the TV. Do you buy her Louis Vuitton purses to keep her around like Kumair does? I hope you take care of her. I don't know, there's something tells me you're a cheapskate like me. That's part of the reason I think I'm single more often than not. Um, what's the bottom line here? Don't buy Tesla unless you only care about payouts. The bottom line that I'm trying to say here is we're not actually making any money. It's the illusion of money. It's like it's like some of what the one of some of the what some of the other YouTubers say that are critical. Um, it's like this. Okay, take $80,000 2 years ago to put it in. Um, that $80,000 has paid you $51,000. It's not even a CD. If it was a CD, you'd be making, watch this, 80,000, and your principal doesn't fluctuate. It almost validates my dad in a way. So you'd make 3,600. You'd be ahead in those 2 years because you'd be at 87,200. So as far as total return, you'd be better off with a CD. Unless now here's the thing, if it gets back to 15, where was it when I bought in November? If it gets back to the $16 that it hit, then I would have a real return, you see, but it has to get back. We have to have like a huge run up. If it got back, then I would have a real return. I'd be 20,000, but that's in 2 years, you see. That's in 2 years divided by the total investment. That's a 25% return. I could have done way better than that just being in Tesla. You know what I mean? So that would be a 25% total return, but like they say, you're better off owning the underlying. Now, I'm not being critical. This does pay a great payout. It's almost like a REIT. This is very similar, if any of you have ever heard of REITs, MLPs, and what's the other thing? BDCs, business development contracts. It's like these type of investments, and I know because I have a relative in one, and it's dropped very similarly. In fact, this is almost like my BDC, but it's in a high yield dividend ETF. Okay, let's read some more comments here. I do like the idea, by the way, if I had put the same money into NVDL, let's figure this out real quick. So if I had put the same money into NVDL, I'm sure I would be way ahead. Now, Hoffman, let me know what you think about this trade because I know you all like to make fun of me. By the way, where have you been in Discord, by the way? One of your buddies told me that you had to, your doctor told you you needed to kind of take it easy, but you're on here chatting away, so that means you can be in Discord. It's giving you back your own money and you're paying taxes on it. That's exactly what I said. See, great minds think alike. Okay, so how long has NVDL been around? You know what upsets me? Oh, wow. Oh, man, if we bought, no one knew about this in 2022. Oh, man, if we bought, oh, here's the comparison of the century. This could be the comparison, like, of all time. Holy shit. NVDL versus TSLY. Oh my God, this is gonna blow your minds. So say we put 80,000, oh my God, 80,000 in NVDL. Ho, 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 ho. You know what pisses me off, by the way? So here I am complimenting NVDL versus Yield Max. But frickin', so I went to New York with Jay. Like, Jay invited me to New York last summer. And I've had both, I've had Will Rind and I've had Jay on Discord, or I'm sorry, I've had them on my channel multiple times. But frickin' Will Ryan of Granite Shares, he invites the frickin' guy, Unconventional Wealth Ideas. They go out to Vegas and stuff, and I would have loved to go, but I didn't get an invite. But I went with Jay, and I don't know, I feel weird about like it's almost like I'm bashing Jay's funds, but I'm really not trying to. I'm just being a realist. But here I am. It's almost like the example I show you all, I swear, it's gonna make you want to put money in NVDL. So if we go back to December 2022, right? If we do this, watch this. I'm telling you, this is going to blow your minds. So it was at, watch this, and I don't think it's split or anything. It was at 382. So 382 a share. That's 20,000 shares versus where were we with Tesla in the same time? We'll take the same date. Watch this. Okay, my math was correct when I said $26, by the way, because that's the post-split adjusted. Oh, we're up to 832, by the way, so we're getting ever so close to that holy grail, that break-even point. 3509. Speaking of holy grails, anybody watching the Pope's funeral? I gotta say, it's a little disturbing how they put like the open casket out there, and I guess they're like embalmed or something. Like he looked completely different dead than he looked while he was alive. It's like, oh my God, it's like the same person. It's a little morbid. Um, but it's like, wow, they like mummify them or something, I guess. It's weird, like the nose is all like shrunken. I don't know. I get a little weirded out by that. Anyway, um, or he was really sick or something. He had something like on the side of his head. I don't know. Um, or did he fall? That's interesting. That's a rabbit hole to go down, by the way, folks. By the way, it was on Easter. It was after he met with JD Vance. That's a whole rabbit hole to go down, but we won't get into that in this video. Okay, so where are we? So $8. Oh, I'm sorry. No, here. What do we say? Oh, shoot. December 12th, same day. 3509. Watch this. 3509. Okay, let me read some comments. ROC isn't U.S. tax based. I vote Hoffman to be the next pope. But the thing is, I think you have to be celibate. So I don't know how that works. I don't know. Was the pope married? Until you get a zero. Hold on. I'm getting distracted here. Discord is trash. Not my Discord. Can you do yield mix or other weeklies? Yes, I think I might. Dang, I was actually going to make my first TSLY, but just to have something from each group. You can. I mean, you can just do play money. I basically did play money in these, but I hate losing money. I really do. I'm like Hoffman, I'm a tightwad here. I hate losing money. I want to gain massive amounts of money. I want to collect interest, not pay interest. I want to collect dividends and make gains in the underlying. Okay, so watch this here. Okay, this would have got you this many shares. This is gonna blow your minds. Okay, now the same number of shares are worth $8.35 here. So wow, your $80,000 investment would have gone down to $19,036. But in VDL, and again, the fund manager that didn't invite me to his thing, I feel like I'm pumping because this is going to make you all want to buy this. This isn't a pump, but it is going to make you all want to buy this. 36.23, and mind you, it's been cut in half basically by the market. So this, oh man, whoa, wow. Which one? Let me pull the audience here. It's not always as obvious as it seems, I guess. Between this number and this number, which one do you all think is the better investment? There's a very clear answer. Okay, so we would have made 758,743 in NVDL if we bought at the same time 80,000 versus 19,000. Wow, this is just making me rethink my whole life, folks. Um, where are we? Yeah, weeklies. The thing is, it's the psychology of dividends. The psychology of dividends is what makes people, they're like, oh, I gotta have this dividend, I gotta have this money. It's like, honestly, the best video, make big money now with zero effort. That's what dividends are, basically passive income. But look how much income you would have had, and how about this one? It gets even better. So if we were to take the price, and I'll compare apples to apples, if we were to take the price from where it was at the peak, which I love doing, best case scenario. So we were at $80.96 in June. Then we were also there the day before the election. Interesting, because I thought Nvidia went up. Why did it come down? That's interesting, huh? 83.19, November 4th, 2024. Ho, 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 ho. This is going to be over $1 million. 83.19. Oh, 1.7 million. And to be fair, we'll do the apples to apples with TSLY as well. Um, so on the day before the election, basically, the day before Papa Powell. And by the way, Papa Powell did that because he wanted to pump up. He wanted to pump up the. I almost said the other side. He wanted to pump up Kamala. I believe. I believe he lost credibility because he cut the rates before the election, which he's not supposed to be political, but that looked very political, in my opinion. So I think that's why Trump's mad at him. So this was 1167. So just to make apples to apples comparison here. So 1167. Okay, so see, big difference here. Well, I think I've been ranting long enough. Let me just read the rest of the comments here. In April 2023, Tesla was about 180 a share for 80,000 by 400. This is the example I was going to do. For 80,000 by 400 shares and sell a weekly call, 20 to 25 out of the money, much better returns than Tesla. Sell calls, 20 to $25 out of the money. You're right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Collect gains, make money in the underlying. Yeah, 10 out of 10. Perfect personality. Sign me up. Who's a perfect personality? Me, right? Nvidia had a monster run. Yeah, but this is running into if I only had the money in XYZ and not ABC game, luck roulette. I do play a lot of luck roulette. Good call. Add 15% to Nvidia by selling. Yeah, you're right. Because the funny thing, so I own a lot of Nvidia, and you could say I'm holding the bag on it, but I've collected a lot of premium on it. In fact, let's just go show you guys real quick. Nvidia is a different profile, not a covered call fund. I know, but it's all about the return. Nvidia isn't a covered call. I know, it's a leveraged ETF. Now, so you know what Granite Shares is doing? They have yield boost. So they're combining their leveraged ETF strategy with the covered call dividend strategy, which I think that's like dynamite. But if you've got professionals managing it, so that could be like kryptonite. That's very interesting. Leverage ETFs going out to perform in a bull market for sure, but in a bear market, that you don't want to get caught holding the bag in a bear market. But damn, you know what? So where were we? I got to look at Nvidia now. Where were we in 2022? See, this is the content that makes you more money, but it doesn't get the views. That's the conundrum on here. Okay, so 2022, we'll never see these prices again though. And I literally did I knock myself because you say luck roulette, but I literally, my last presentation in my master's program, I talked about the huge upside of NVIDIA with the CHIPS Act and all that. And it's like if I just put everything, it was this date right here, it was 1576 on a post-split adjusted basis. If I just put everything I had at the time, I'd have a fortune right now. So we ran up there. So we've come back down from our peaks, but we are going to come back. And because of the splits and all that, more people can buy in. I do believe we are going to come back, but will NVDL, will we ever see those $3 prices? I highly doubt it. Did this fund actually start at that, though? That's the thing. Yield Max is supposed to be professional, too. Leverage ETFs going to outperform in a bull market for sure. Yeah, we read that one. I can't believe this fund opened that cheap. That's incredible. The timing on this was perfect. December, like everybody that launched ETFs at this time, it was perfect. So, okay, how long have we been going here? I don't want to give you all overtime here. Then we have to start getting into super chats and whatnot. Okay, so we have been going here for probably too long, right? 42 minutes. Okay, so in another video, I'll cover NVDL and I'll cover, because Hoffman is exactly right. The premiums lower your cost basis on these funds. So anyway, folks, hey, this was really good. I think we're back. We got our mojo back here. Um, it's like my channel needed some Cialis. Um, but anyway, so these are the type of videos I'm going to get back to. So hey, thank you all folks so much for tuning in. Like, comment, and subscribe, and join Discord, and we will see you all in the next one. Take care. Have a great rest of your